Every year, thousands of young people make the same decision. They pack their lives into 2 suitcases and board a plane. Their destination: South Korea, one of Asia's most dynamic nations. A country famous for its food, its culture, and its ambition. And a country with a burning, decades-old obsession with English. In 2022, South Korean families spent over $20 billion on private education. Most of that money flowed through private academies called Hagwons. There are approximately 80,000 Hagwons operating across South Korea today. English Hagwons are the most lucrative and the most competitive segment. And to fill those classrooms, Korea needs one very specific resource: native English speakers, preferably young, enthusiastic, and inexperienced. The recruitment machine that finds them is efficient, polished, and global. Recruiting agencies in the United States, Canada, the UK, and Australia run the pipeline. Their job postings appear on platforms frequented by young graduates worldwide. The language is always the same: adventure, savings, career growth, free housing. The promise is simple: teach English for a year, save money, see the world. What those postings almost never mention is how the system actually works, or who actually controls the experience once a teacher arrives in Korea. To understand the trap, you first have to understand the dream they sell. It begins online, months before the teacher ever boards a plane. YouTube videos show teachers living in beautiful Korean apartments, traveling on weekends. Instagram accounts show cherry blossoms, street food, temples, and Jeju sunsets. Online communities share salary comparisons. The numbers look genuinely good on paper. A typical entry-level Hagwon offer: 2 million won per month, plus free housing, free flights, a furnished apartment, and health insurance, all included in the package. For a recent graduate drowning in student debt, this looks like salvation. The recruiter emails back fast. They are friendly, encouraging, and very persistent. They send testimonials. They send photos. They send a contract quickly. The contract looks professional. It has clauses, schedules, and signatures. Most teachers sign it within 48 hours without consulting a lawyer. After all, what could go wrong? The recruiter seems so trustworthy. They book their flights. They say goodbye to everyone they know. They land at Incheon International Airport, exhausted but thrumming with excitement. Korea greets them with clean highways, bright signage, and a strange silence. The city is overwhelming, beautiful, and completely unlike anything they expected. Jamie stares out the taxi window and tells herself, this was the right choice. She has no way of knowing what is already waiting for her. The apartment is not what the photo in the offer showed. The ceiling is lower. The walls are thinner. The neighborhood is unfamiliar. But she has just arrived. She tells herself it will be fine. Her first day at the Hagwon begins at 9 in the morning, sharp. The school looks smaller and older than the website suggested. The director greets her with a handshake and a tight, professional smile. He explains the schedule. It is longer than the contract specified. She teaches 6 classes per day, not the 4 she agreed to. She stays until 9 at night preparing materials for the next day. This is not an unusual day. This is just Tuesday, and she has not yet discovered what else the contract hid from her. The trap, like most traps, was already fully set before she arrived. To understand how it works, we need to understand how Korea got here. In the 1990s, South Korea made a sweeping national bet on English. Globalization was accelerating. The 1997 financial crisis deepened the urgency. Korea's leaders decided, to compete globally, every Korean child needed English. English was added to the national curriculum at the elementary level in 1997. But the public school system could not produce enough native English teachers. Private academies, Hagwons, stepped in to fill the gap. Immediately, the Hagwon boom created enormous demand for one thing parents craved: a real native English speaker standing in front of their child's class. Not a qualified educator, not a linguist, just someone who grew up speaking English. Qualifications beyond a bachelor's degree were largely irrelevant. Accent mattered more. This created an industry not built on education, built on appearances. Hagwon owners discovered they could charge more if the teacher was white and Western. Parents were willing to pay a significant premium for that illusion of prestige. The recruitment pipeline grew. Agencies in the West began actively mining universities. The promise was always the same: the experience of a lifetime, paid for by Korea. But behind every shiny recruitment poster was a very different reality. The Hagwon director, in most cases, is also the Hagwon owner. They are entrepreneurs, not educators. Profit is the primary language they speak. Their product is English fluency, or at least the appearance of it. And the foreign teacher is not an employee. She is the product on display. The E2 visa is the key that brings foreign teachers to Korea and controls them there. The E2 visa ties a foreign teacher directly and exclusively to their employer. If you leave that employer, your visa becomes invalid almost immediately. This single fact gives the Hagwon owner enormous leverage over every teacher. They know you cannot simply walk out and find another job nearby. You are in a foreign country. You barely speak the language. You are alone. The violation almost never happens on day one. That would be too obvious. The first month is manageable. There is a grace period, intentional and deliberate. The real contract, the unwritten one, reveals itself slowly, over weeks. The first change, the teaching hours are longer than the contract specifies. Then comes the unpaid overtime, framed as a standard expectation. Everyone does it, the director explains, with calm, practiced certainty. This is a lie, but a very effective one, especially for someone new. The second change, vacation days are scheduled entirely by the director. Korean labor law technically allows this, a loophole called worker representative consent. The worker's representative in most small Hagwons is whoever the director chooses. In practice, this means the foreign teacher has no control over her own time off. A week off for Korea's Thanksgiving falls during the national holiday anyway. That does not count. Jamie asks about taking a personal vacation day. The director hesitates, then declines. She cannot afford to push back. Her visa status depends on her employment. And so the third change arrives. Her paycheck is short, by 20%. The director explains it as a penalty for being 5 minutes late on Tuesday. There is no formal warning system, no written policy, no appeal process. The director decides what the rules are. He also decides when they were broken. This is not illegal, exactly. Korea's labor laws for foreign workers have significant gaps. And even when it is illegal, enforcement depends on the teacher actually complaining. Most teachers do not complain. They are afraid of what comes next. What comes next is the visa threat. Explicit or implied, it is always there. Some directors say it directly. Cause trouble, and I will cancel your sponsorship. Others do not need to say it. The teacher already knows. Everyone knows. The expat teaching community in Korea is small. Word travels fast. Online forums become lifelines. Places where survival knowledge is quietly shared. Don't sign anything new. Don't admit anything in writing. Document everything. But most teachers are too new to know what to document or when to start. Now add one more layer, the cameras. Watching everything. At all times. In South Korea, workplace CCTV is widespread and largely unregulated in small businesses. Teachers have reported cameras in every classroom, every hallway, and every break room. Some teachers believe the audio is recorded as well, though this is rarely confirmed. The message is clear, whether spoken or not. We are always watching you. And the footage is available to the director whenever he wants to review it. The exploitation of foreign teachers is not only about contracts and hours. It is also about race, who gets hired, who gets treated well, and who does not. South Korea's English teaching industry has a documented and well-known racial hierarchy. White, Western-accented teachers from inner-circle countries are most in demand. Teachers from South Asia, Southeast Asia, or Africa face explicit discrimination in hiring. This is not a rumor. It is documented, reported, and widely acknowledged in industry forums. One Black American teacher reported her director refused to pair her with certain classes. The reason given: parents prefer a certain look for their children's English teacher. This discrimination is rarely actionable under Korean law for short-term contract workers. Teachers of color often find themselves in lower-paying, less prestigious placements. And the emotional toll of that, of being chosen last, or not at all, accumulates. Isolation is the silent undertow of the Hagwon experience for almost every teacher. You do not speak the language. Your coworkers are Korean. Your students are children. Many teachers describe an intense loneliness that arrives around month 3. And around month 4, the physical exhaustion begins to compound everything else. The Hagwon schedule does not accommodate illness. Missing class means wage deductions. Some teachers report being told to work through severe illnesses to avoid penalties. The medical insurance included in the contract is real, but using it takes time and language. Most foreign teachers navigate Korean healthcare without assistance from their employer. The mental health toll of the experience often outlasts the contract itself. But before that, there is still the matter of getting out of the contract itself. Many contracts include an early termination penalty, paid by the teacher if she leaves. A typical penalty can equal 1 to 2 months of salary, enormous for someone already short. And if the director decides to withhold the final month's paycheck, they sometimes do. Fighting back legally in Korean court takes months, costs money, and requires a Korean-speaking lawyer. Many teachers simply cut their losses and disappear. This is what teachers in Korea call a midnight run, and it happens far more than you think. Leaving in the night without warning, before the director can react or retaliate. Some do it to escape contract violations, some to escape harassment, some to escape worse. Teachers have reported sexual harassment, wage theft, verbal abuse, and false imprisonment. The individual horror stories are real, but they are symptoms. The system is the disease. The Hagwon industry is built on a structural asymmetry of information and power. The teacher arrives knowing almost nothing. The director knows everything about the system. The recruiting agencies sit between them, and their loyalty is not to the teacher. Agencies are paid a placement fee by the Hagwon, not a salary by the teacher. That means every incentive the agency has points toward making the placement, not protecting the teacher. Agencies also maintain databases of teacher profiles, sometimes without explicit consent. Teacher names, photos, passport details, and work histories, all potentially accessible to hiring directors. In 2023, one teacher's complaint to Korea's Internet Security Agency prompted a formal review. The agency was issued written administrative guidance, but the databases remained operational. The blacklist of bad Hagwons exists, built and maintained by teachers themselves, compiled from forum posts, personal accounts, and verified contract violations over years. Many teachers arrive in Korea having already checked the Hagwon blacklist on Reddit. It helps, partially, but bad directors create new schools. Old names disappear. New names appear. Enforcement requires complaints. Complaints require courage. Courage requires protection. Protection is absent. Korea's Labor Standards Act does technically apply to foreign teachers on E2 visas. The problem is not the law. The problem is the gap between the law and enforcement. The Korea Labor Relations Commission can handle disputes. In Korean, over many months. Most foreign teachers are gone, contract ended or fled before any resolution arrives. A 2024 campaign by foreign teachers specifically targeted the paid vacation loophole. Teachers publicly demanded the right to take annual leave on their own terms. Hagwon associations responded by threatening to take, quote, all measures against teachers. One association director publicly stated he saw no point in talking with teacher representatives. The teachers did not give up. A union formation attempt was launched. Organizers knew what they were risking: retaliation, visa complications, employer hostility. They organized anyway, because the alternative was to keep absorbing the silence. This is the part of the story that Korea's education industry does not want told. The version of Korea exported through pop culture and tourism is real, but it is incomplete. South Korea's government has acknowledged issues in the Hagwon industry. Repeatedly, over decades, reforms have been proposed. Industry associations have blocked most of them, because the Hagwon industry contributes significantly to the Korean economy every single year. And the foreign teachers who pass through it are, to the industry, entirely replaceable. For every teacher who leaves Korea disillusioned, another just graduated is ready to sign. The dream is constantly replenished. The pipeline never runs dry. The cycle never stops, unless someone breaks it. And some people are trying. The number of foreign English teachers on E2 visas in Korea peaked at 23,300 in 2010. Numbers fell as Korea's birth rate dropped, but spending per student kept climbing. In 2022, Korea's private education spending hit its highest recorded level. Despite fewer children, the average Korean family now spends 123,000 won per month per child on private education. That money flows upward. Very little of it reaches the foreign teacher at the front of the room. The system is not broken. It is working exactly as it was designed to work. Designed to extract maximum value from both Korean children and foreign teachers simultaneously. The Korean children bear their own costs, 12-hour school days, extreme academic pressure. Korea's student mental health crisis is well documented and deeply connected to academic pressure. Both the Korean child and the foreign teacher are caught in the same machine. Both are paying a human cost for a system that benefits primarily the director and the industry. Several foreign teachers have written publicly about their experiences. The community listens. There are Korea-specific legal aid organizations beginning to offer support for foreign workers. The EPIK government program, though different from Hagwon's, has stronger worker protections. Teachers who research EPIK positions before accepting Hagwon offers often avoid the worst situations. But the Hagwon market is not going away. The incentives that created it are too powerful. And new graduates will keep arriving, drawn by the same dream, carrying the same hope. The question is whether the dream and the reality can be brought closer together. Not by destroying the industry, it serves real needs, but by building real accountability into it. Some Hagwon directors run ethical, fair, and genuinely rewarding programs for their teachers. This story is not about Korea being bad. It is about a system that was never designed to protect teachers. Jamie's contract ends. She packs her 2 suitcases. She flies home. She does not regret going. But she wishes someone had told her the truth first. Thousands more are in the air right now. On their way, full of exactly that same hope. Now you know what is waiting for them. And knowing is where everything changes. Please like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment the next video topic in the comments.